you're terrified, terrified of things not going right. You're scared of dropping the ball. Goosebumps, goosebumps shivering up and down. Worried that they're gonna figure out you don't know what you're doing at all. And you feel the winds changing as he steps into the room. Oh, clever that wizard, saving the people, making the magic with his mesmerizing mind. Clever that wizard, saving the people from themselves.
Local marketer Stephanie Yates is making headlines for what is being hailed as the greatest webinar in the world. Audience members are saying it felt like magic, but according to Yates, it's just Wistia.
With the wizard by your side, you are unstoppable. With confidence to rise above them all. And the webinars you make will be remarkable. The wizard knows the way, but you must heed the call. And you feel the winds are changing as he steps into the room. Oh, webinar wizard, saving the people, making the magic with his mesmerizing mind. Oh, webinar wizard, saving the people from themselves. Webinar wizard.
Welcome to the town hall, everybody.
We're
Thank you so much for
here.
coming. Hey, Elise, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Chris?
I am good. I'm excited. I mean, it's hard not to be excited. Anytime I watch Webinar Wizard, I start singing along. I don't know about you.
I feel like we need to watch that before every webinar that I'm in. That really got me amped. That was amazing.
Gets you going. There's nothing like seeing your webinar in Times Square, you know, to really realize this is a big deal. And these town halls are a big deal. So we're here today to be sharing with you a lot of the things that we've been doing recently. And obviously, we share product spotlights all the time. We share blog updates, updates on social. But where those updates come from is from you all. Like, you tell us what you want, you tell us what you don't like. And getting your feedback and kind of doing this all in one place is one of the reasons we're so excited to be doing the town hall today.
Definitely. Our goal today is to really help you get the most out of your Wistia account by going over a lot of the features and functionality that we've released over the past few months. As Chris kind of mentioned, these town hall webinars, we've done a few of them in the past. They're just an awesome opportunity for us to hear from you, get your feedback, your comments, light up the chat, ask your questions. Spicy ones are encouraged still. And just engage with us. It really helps us learn what is exciting to you, what we should work on more of, what we should do next. So let us know. And I should also add that this webinar is being recorded, so do not worry, no need to take notes. We will get the recording to you as soon as it's over. And we have Wistians standing by to answer questions, so feel free to jot those down as we go. We also have time for Q&A at the end. So yeah, we're really excited to just dive in and get started.
Awesome. Well, I want to start by talking a little bit about just the importance of video for business. So in our State of Video report, we found that 93% of marketers said that video was an important part of their marketing strategy. Now, this is shocking because marketers almost never agree on anything. So everyone agreeing on that is a big deal. We're seeing video being used basically everywhere across the funnel and in all parts of the organization. And so we're seeing it, in brand awareness, product updates, demos, social, internal content, sales, training, everywhere. And one of the interesting things also is that it's actually still growing and accelerating. And the rate of business with which businesses are adopting videos is not slowing down. So according to HubSpot's State of Marketing 2024 report, short form video is the #1 marketing trend that has generated strong results. And additionally, 56% of marketers using TikTok will increase their investment this year, while 30% of marketers who don't use short form video will start doing it in 2024. If you've been following us, you've seen that we're doing a lot of this. We're doing this on personal channels. We're doing it on the company brand. We're doing it all over the place. And because more companies and more people in those companies and are using video in an increasingly wider range of uses, that means there's just a lot more video to manage and a lot more video to collaborate on. And we've been in this space for 18 years. Brendan and I started this business in 2006, and we've expanded from the beginning days of hosting to really helping you record, create, edit, distribute, make social clips, put on live events like this one. And our mission has remained the same the whole time. Our mission has always been to help every business thrive with video. So what does that mean? That means we're building a product that helps you really improve your video workflows. We want to help you save time when you're using video across your business. And we also want to help you make better videos by, a lot of the tools that you're going to see today that make it easier to use analytics to understand how things are performing, integrations to understand how things are performing, editing, social clipping tools. And we also know that just like if we can help you get more value from the videos that you make, you're going to be happy and we're going to be happy. So all of this together, if you've been paying close attention, we have launched already over 100 feature updates this year, which is unprecedented for us. And we're really excited to show you, if you haven't caught all those updates, what are they? How do they fit together? What are some of the things you can do? And so in this town hall, we're going to be talking a lot about centralized collaboration. We're going to be talking about webinars in Wistia, enhanced video creation features. And we're also going to be talking about the underlying platform and some really huge performance improvements we've made there. But first, this is us. This is Wistia. We want to do something a little bit different. So we decided to film a game show. And this game show is about repurposing webinars for a webinar. So I'll let this segment speak for itself, but let's play Chop It.
This is Chop It, the game show where two marketers face off in a challenge to chop a webinar into a bunch of useful assets. We gave each participant one 60-minute webinar. In this case, a 2-year-old gem, Advanced Webinar Marketing with Rand Fishkin. The goal? They'll need to chop and repurpose their video into something amazing. And the catch? They only have 20 minutes to chop it. So let's introduce our contestants. Representing our social media mavens out there, Frank will attempt to chop a webinar into a social media campaign.
I'm here to get the most awareness and bulk out of my content calendar for months, because if people don't know who you are, they're not going to buy your stuff. Plus, no one reads blogs anyway.
Representing our bloggers and demand gen folks, Courtney will chop her webinar into an SEO-rich, lead-generating blog post.
I'm all about content that performs. It's not enough for it to be fresh. It has to impress, convert, and make this business some money.
Who will be the winner? That's up to you. At the end of this town hall, we'll present what each participant created and let you, the audience, decide the winner. Okay, marketers, start your engines. Your 20 minutes on the clock starts now. Stay tuned for updates. Till then, back to the town hall.
All right.
That
And
is
now-
incredible.
That is awesome. I love it so much. And I cannot wait to see what happens.
Are we taking bets? Courtney on content, Frank on social?
Who do
What
you think?
Light
Who are
it
you
up
gonna
in
who are you
chat.
gonna bet on, Elise?
It's tough. It's tough. I don't even know. We've got some great features to help with both things. So I'm super
I know I don't want to
excited
bias
see
the
they pull
voting
out.
later too. So I
Yeah.
guess we'll just let this play out. Let's see. Let's have a democratic process, see what happens here.
I want to see the predictions in the chat though. So share your prediction. But while our contestants are busy working their magic, I want to take a minute to dive into one of the biggest things that we've been working on here at Wistia, and that is helping you centralize your collaboration. So like Chris mentioned, we know that video is not a one-person job anymore. It really takes a team, from your video producers and marketers to website managers, developers, customer support, sales. Everyone needs to be able to play their hand in the process. So we really want to focus, and we've been focused on making it easier than ever for teams to collaborate on all things video right inside of Wistia. So first up, I want to talk about our new and improved user roles and permissions that give you more control over who can access and manage your content. With this change, we've introduced 2 new types of user roles. So you can have limited users who can access only content that is shared with them. And we also have a new standard user role that allows that person to access content that's shared with them, but they can also go and create their own folders, channels, live events, all of that great stuff. So this is just giving you a little bit more granular control. We saw a lot of our customers kind of defaulting to making everyone a manager on the Wistia account because they didn't want to kind of figure out the whole granular permission. So this is a great change that just allows you to give folks exactly what they need and get a little more control in your Wistia account. Next up, we've added the ability to add multiple account owners to your Wistia account. This is a huge one. So account owners are the folks that have access to billing information. They can upgrade and change your plans. And now you can have more than one account owner associated with your account. So all the right people have that access to get in there and do what they need to do in Wistia. And we've introduced team accounts. So you can now really easily manage sub-brands or sub-teams within a single Wistia account. This is fantastic for folks at larger organizations who maybe have your sales team creating video or your customer support team creating video for your help center, in addition to maybe a marketing team or maybe you have multiple marketing teams. Really wanting with all of these features to just empower you to do what you need to do in Wistia. We want you to have more control. We want you to be able to keep your content really organized and just be a little bit more efficient in how you manage and approach video within your organization. So today we're going to be sharing updates that apply to all of the different folks who use video. And to start, I'm going to turn things over to our product manager, Uni, who's going to share a little bit about how marketers can better streamline their webinars with Wistia. So Uni, over to you.
Thanks, Elise. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about all the amazing things that we've been building with Wistia's webinar feature since we launched it in the fall of 2022. It's been quite a journey, so I can't wait to share what's new. So first up, we made a big change back in May earlier this year. So now webinars are available on our Pro plan. So for just $79 a month, you can dive into a really streamlined webinar experience that's perfectly integrated with the rest of our platform. So if you want to host beautiful, polished webinars while you save your team tons of time while you're generating leads, this is the best way to do it. And we're really thinking about everyone in mind. So it doesn't matter what your expertise level is with tech, your skill level, your budget. We want you to feel confident hosting webinars that are looking amazing. So if you're already on a Pro plan, you can check this out in your accounts now. Okay, so we're in Wistia Live, and I also want to talk about the updates to Wistia Live. So I'm going to kind of keep with the game show theme. So what I'm going to do is pretend to be Vanna White and just sort of point to different features that we've shipped recently. Okay, so as you've probably seen throughout the webinar so far, you can actually change layouts. So you can have, a speaker and a screen share side by side, or you can have speakers appear as little smaller corners, squares in the corners. The way that these layouts work is they'll dynamically update. So it doesn't matter what you have on stage. Maybe you have a whole panel of speakers. We just want you to look great by default without having a ton of hardware. So this is a really big, important change that we've made. We've also made it really easy for ourselves or for you all to swap your webcam background. So Wistia is going to provide you with a few different options, such as this one, or you can upload, a background choice of your own. So say maybe you have speakers in a panel and you want them to all have branded backgrounds. This would be a really great way to do that. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you all is polls. So we're going to be launching a poll in just a second, and you're going to see it on your right side. So imagine, your audience members are engaging with a poll, which feels really good and it's really interactive, but we went a little bit beyond that and we made it so possible that you can actually bring polls to the stage. So for example, you can share the results now with your audience members and sort of see all the different, results sort of changing live. Okay, so now let's take the poll down from the screen. Another thing you can do is you can directly upload your presentations, slideshows, or documents as PDFs into your Wistia webinar, and you can present them directly on stage now at the highest quality. So here you can see our recent webinar guidebook, which was part of our Webinar Wizard campaign. It's all about being able to consolidate your resources in one place, and again, show it at a really high quality. Another thing, so you might during a webinar want to launch a CTA or a call to action. So you might want to direct your audience, for example, to maybe like a survey, maybe to download a resource, or maybe you want them to sign up for a sales demo. Whatever web page you want to send them to, you can do so. We're going to launch that very quickly up here, and it'll appear in your right, my left corner. Okay. And then speaking of audience engagement, if someone in your chat posts something really insightful, or you just want to highlight it, you can do so by pinning it. But beyond that, you could also, for example, show it onto the stage. So I kind of like this one. This was kind of cheeky. Justin from Vegas, Courtney plus 200, Frank minus 100. Okay. And then one other thing. So something really, really cool. So previously, when you were using Wistia Live, you could bring up to 4 presenters on stage. We've made an upgrade. Now you can bring up to 9 people on stage. Plus you can have, the screen share, that comment, a poll, whatever it is at the same time. Remember, you can also have unlimited number of hosts and panelists with you backstage, but now you can have up to 9 people with you on stage. Okay, so I think that went pretty well. I want to take a little step back out of the attendee experience and talk a little bit more about webinar management. So beyond just making your webinars look great, we want you to feel in total control of your experience, because going live is super stressful, we know. So with one of our new features, you can now maximize the stage view for yourself as a host or a panelist, so you can kind of remove any distractions while you're presenting and just focus on the content you're trying to give. You can also hide any distracting comments made by an audience member in the chat, or you can pin important comments, so you can just highlight and stay focused on what matters the most. And then one of the most exciting things that we are working on and have worked on to enhance your control over the webinar experience is with simulated live events. So during a Wistia event, it's really easy to upload slides or play a video from your library in Wistia, and it's going to display at the highest quality. And now we've taken it a step further with a feature called auto starting, which just makes running your webinars that much easier. So now you can set up your webinar to automatically kick off with a video from your library, and it's going to run at the scheduled time. So you don't have to be on from the very start. Say you want to set up like recurring webinars that run smoothly every time with pre-recorded content, or maybe you have an international audience that you want to share content with, and you're just not going to be able to be awake at that time. So this is a perfect way to do that. In an auto-started event, you're still going to be able to interact with the audience, so you can still use chat, Q&A, and polls. And then if you want to jump in live and take full control back, you can do so. And so then you can switch over from a fully automated simulated event to a partially simulated event. So we designed this with you all in mind. Just we want to give you a really seamless, repeatable way to connect with your audience members. Alrighty, so what's next for Wistia webinars? Great question. So one area that we're particularly excited about is attendee analytics and integrations with marketing automation platforms. So what we're working on is enhancing a way to send your webinar attendance and engagement data to your favorite marketing automation platform. And we're just getting started. So you've all made it very clear to us, understanding exactly how each audience member is viewing and engaging with your content really matters to you. And so that's why we're building new features to do so. So you're going to be able to get deeper insights into how each person in your webinar watched your content or engaged with it. So you can imagine maybe like a heat map of all of your attendees, and it gives you much more granular insights about how everyone kind of looked at things, responded to polls, answered questions, etc., things like that. So we're super excited about all these updates, and we can't wait to see what you all do with webinars in Wistia. Speaking of which, I think it's time for us to check in with our contestants.
Welcome back to Chop It, the game show where 2 marketers face off on a video repurposing challenge. Today, Frank's up against Courtney as they chop a webinar into something new. Let's check in. First up, our content expert, Courtney. How's it going over there?
So I went ahead and I cleaned up the webinar in the Wistia editor, added AI chapters. That was super fast, but I don't have a lot of time here and I really need to whip up the blog post. So I'm going to use the transcript and help from ChatGPT to get this moving faster.
Okay, looks like we got Frank on the horn. Frank, how's repurposing content on the social media side working out?
Hey, currently looking for the right clips using Wistia's social clips tool. It's super handy that the AI scrubbed through an hour of content and found all these engaging clips for me. But now I got to find one that fits the right length for each network and will perform well. So I can't really talk. Got to get back to this and get these clips resized and find the right template now.
Wow, seeing a theme here. AI is really streamlining these workflows. Okay, when we're back, we'll have our contestants present their final assets. Now, I'm going to kick it back to the town hall.
Man, I love that. I cannot wait to see what happens. So this is exciting, because now Elise is going to come back and she's going to talk to us a little bit more about enhanced video creation.
Yeah, it seems like those contestants are feeling the heat. All I can say is thank goodness for AI. I personally love using AI to help with the content creation process and especially fleshing out my own ideas. But it really can't do all the work. And luckily, Wistia has your back with some features that'll really help enhance the way that you create videos. So last year, we launched team commenting, which is an awesome feature that lets you really easily leave time-coded comments on videos. I don't know about you guys, but I have had terrible experiences in the past of needing to painstakingly jot down timestamps and find the exact areas and send them over via Google Docs or Slack. This feature takes that all away and makes it so easy to leave your feedback on videos. And we recently improved that workflow with our share for review flow. So now it's really easy to collect that feedback on videos that you're working on. Just choose the share for review button from the share dropdown and send the link to anyone, whether they're inside your organization or outside of their organization. With that link, they can really easily join in on team commenting, just add their name, leave time-coded feedback, tag team members, and get that all important approval checked off. So it's really never been easier to collaborate on your video projects with this feature. Next up, speaking of collaborators, we've also got a few awesome updates to recording in Wistia that make it even easier for you to collaborate on recording videos in Wistia. First, our new invite to record feature allows you to invite anyone to record a video that will get saved directly to your Wistia account. This is awesome for collecting testimonials or getting sound bites from different folks. One use case that I really love is if you're hosting a webinar, maybe an AMA or a panel of experts, or maybe you just have a guest, you can use this to get some sound bites for them that you can use in your webinar promo, which is very cool. We actually did something kind of similar for this webinar, but since Chris and I both wanted to be involved in this promo video that we were making, we used group recording, which is another feature that I want to talk to you guys about. So with group recording, it's here. You can now record high quality video podcasts, interviews, and presentations in Wistia. To start, all you need to do is select record with others. And from there, you can grab a link, share it with anyone you want to record with. You can record with up to 9 collaborators. And when everyone's ready to go, just hit record. It will record that high quality remotely with multiple layouts. You can do all of it. At the end of the session, each guest's high quality stream will be uploaded to Wistia so that it's ready for you to trim it up, do what you need to do, make those edits. You can repurpose it for social with AI coming back around. This feature is still in beta, but it is available now. We'd love for y'all to check it out, share your feedback, let us know what you think, especially as we're still refining it. Excited to hear what you guys think. And last but certainly not least, we recently rolled out enhanced speech powered by Adobe Podcasts. So this is a new feature in our editor, and it is literally so simple, so easy. You can improve the quality of your audio with a click of the button. So all of those recordings that you're making, so easy to make them sound just beautiful, studio quality without the expense. I will stop talking about it and roll the video so you can see this feature in action. It's really great.
Without the studio. Believe it or not, this is recorded on my laptop and no fancy microphone. With Wistia's built-in enhanced speech tool powered by Adobe Podcast, I can clean it up in seconds.
So you can record a video in a bustling office, and enhanced speech will clean up the background noise just like that.
Or record a video in a dark stairwell and say bye-bye to all that echo.
Here's how it works. Upload any video to Wistia, head over to the suggestions menu, and turn Adobe Speech Enhance on. And that's it. Your audio is automatically cleaned up and ready to go.
No need for an expensive microphone. Enhanced speech can make even the most basic laptop mic sound like a professional podcasting setup.
I love that so much. It's so fun to get features in the product that really change your experience. Like, we were making videos a few weeks ago, had something that sounded pretty terrible, put it in there. I posted on LinkedIn, and then the first question was, "What mic did you use to record this with?" I was like, I just used my iPhone, and then I put in Wistia and added enhanced speech from Adobe. So pretty sick.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome not having to need to scrounge for that mic or be able to record things on the fly and not have to fuss over making it sound amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have one more section before we get into Q&A. I see a lot of questions coming in. Thank you for the questions. If you have more questions, throw them in there. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the platform. So we've been making some huge enhancements and changes to how Wistia works on the back end. And let's just dig in a little bit to this. So we know one of the most common things you're going to do with Wistia is you're going to upload a video in, or you're going to record a video, and then it's going to be into the platform. And, you know, when you're in your workflow and you just finished a video and then you have to wait for it to upload and then you have to wait for it to encode, like, that's a bummer. That's a big bummer. We don't want you to have to deal with these bummers anymore. And so we are very excited to announce that through a series of changes to how the system works, we have now made the process of getting a video from your desktop to playing back in Wistia 5 times faster. We've done this through a combination of a few different things. Some of these have already rolled out. You may have noticed them. Some of these are rolling out right now. The first major change here is we have faster uploading. We've changed how our uploading technology works. If you're on a higher connection speed to the internet, you will notice much faster upload rates getting videos into the platform. The second thing we've done, which is an enormous change, is we have built an entirely new encoding engine. And right now, the way that this works is when you see a video and it starts encoding, we will be encoding all the different versions, but there's a button that appears that says speed it up. And when you click that button, speed it up, you are now using the new encoding engine. We're seeing some pretty amazing numbers here. So as an example, for like an hour-long piece of content with our previous encoding engine, it would often take 30 to 45 minutes or so to encode the video. And when folks are speeding it up and using the new engine, we're seeing times of just a few minutes. I mean, you should try this for yourself. It's out there. It's amazing. But that's not all we've done. We've also introduced a new technology called instant playback. So while we're encoding all the different versions for you that we encode versions in 4K of your videos, all the way down to very mobile friendly with a poor connection versions of your video. While we're encoding all of those, we are actually have a version of the video that you can play back in real time. And so this means that that video that would have taken, that hour-long video that would have taken 45 minutes before you could start working on it in Wistia, it's now just going to take a few minutes. So we're really excited about this. As you'll see, the uploading is out. The new engine is rolling. You can hit speed it up, and instant playback is all out today. So please get in there, play around with it, and check it out. But that's not all. There's more. So I'm also incredibly excited to announce a brand new version and full redesign of our video player that we call Aurora. So on the front end, there are some aesthetic changes you'll notice, like these beautiful rounded corners, which are just so damn beautiful. I don't know if you've seen the video. Pretty catchy song about that one. But we've also actually are launching more themes. And so you'll be able to adjust gradients in the player in just the next couple of weeks. So I don't know if you have Gen Z people that work with you or you're Gen Z yourself, but I'm sure you'll appreciate these gradients. That's not all. We have also dramatically shrunk down the package size of the video player itself. So we've gone from 139 kilobytes to 43. So about a third of the size with absolutely no degradation in the quality of your videos whatsoever. This means we have much faster load times for web pages with your videos on them. So this is going to have a huge impact on site performance, SEO, play rate, conversions. That's what we're seeing in the initial versions of this being out there. So very excited about this change. So how much faster is it? Well, Aurora is 72% faster than Vulkan 2, which was the previous Wistia player that you had in your Wistia account. And when we compare ourselves to the rest of the industry, we can see that we're excited that we're actually now the fastest player on the market. So there is no tool out there that is going to help you get a long form video or even a short form video from your computer to playing back this quickly. Now, there's a few other things we're not going to sacrifice on. That's right. The Aurora player has 100% accessibility according to Lighthouse. So this means that it's easier for people to interact with. It's a better way for people to engage with your player. And that's going to drive more viewing and more engagement. But that's not all. One of the things you might have noticed in Wistia in the last few months is we're now actually showing you the language that people have in their browser when they're playing back videos. So you can see what percentage of your audience can see your video in different languages. So here's a homepage video for Wistia. You can see actually only 70% of the people who are clicking play here have English as their default language. Well, we have the support for multiple different languages and captions. So what can you do? You can now go directly to captions on your video and start adding translations of your captions. This is included in the product. And now when people come and their browser default is different, they will see captions in their language. So really excited just about making this more accessible and more valuable. I have one more thing I want to show you. We've had a huge number of changes. We've had over 100 changes already so far this year, 72 changes last year. And our product it's changed a lot. What Wistia has changed a lot. And so we felt like it was time for us to take another look and let's reimagine what the Wistia app can look like. And so we have a new version of the Wistia app rolling out in 2025. It's beautiful. It's even easier to use. It's more modern. It's tuned for teams and collaboration. And we're just really excited about it. So before we get into Q&A, I think we have to do one very important thing, which is go back to Chop It.
Welcome back to Chop It. We only have seconds left on the clock as our contestants make some final changes to their repurposed webinar. That's time. Keyboards down. Starting with Courtney, representing content and demand gen. Now, as a reminder, we're looking for a webinar to be repurposed into an SEO-rich, lead-generating blog post. Let's see what you got, Courtney.
First, I had to prepare the full webinar recording. So I went into the Wistia editor and trimmed out that meandering intro. To do that quickly, I used text-based editing. All I had to do was highlight some text and hit delete. And as you know, it has to sound nice. So I made sure the audio was crystal clear. Shout out to Adobe Podcast, because with enhanced speech in Wistia, all it took was a toggle. To zhuzh it up, I picked a thumbnail, added chapters using AI, and I even added a lead gen form. For SEO, I needed a blog post, so I gave myself a huge head start by simply copying and pasting the transcript from Wistia right into ChatGPT. I mean, of course I had to spend some time in Google Docs rewriting it to match my brand voice. To publish the edited webinar, I just grab that hash ID in the blog post copy, throw that into Contentful to get that bad boy live, and the video will play right at the top. And now the cherry on top. I use the blog post to write a quick email so my sales and CS teams can follow up.
Whoa, what a presentation from Courtney. Now, before we take it to the polls, for you, the audience, to decide the winner, let's hear from our social media maven, Frank. What do you have for us, Frank?
Well, Courtney is a tough act to follow, but I am feeling pretty good. Even though there wasn't much time, luckily Wistia did most of the heavy lifting. Using the social clips feature, AI quickly cut out the most engaging moments from the webinar. And after adjusting the timing a little bit, I picked out some animated captions that match my brand. And I am a pro, so I made sure each clip was resized into vertical, horizontal, and square versions that I'll post on LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram. And Wistia's social clips tool even suggested copy for each social post. So I took that, copied it into a Google Doc, gave it a bit of a human touch, and finally, icing on the cake, I used Wistia's Hootsuite integration to schedule my social posts for the next few weeks.
What an exciting ending. Both of our contestants did an incredible job, but it's not over yet. It's up to all of you to decide in the polls. Now, I'm sending it over to Chris Savage for the results. Thanks for watching.
All right. So let's see who's the winner here. Oh, wow. The votes are coming in very rapidly. I'm seeing a trend. Are you seeing this trend, Elise?
It's Courtney is pretty strong here.
Courtney, I think I have a funny feeling, unless something dramatic happens right now, I think Courtney is going to be the winner of the first ever Chop It video repurposing competition. Courtney, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you all for your votes. I didn't even have to play dirty. I have a puppy here in the background. I was considering just grabbing her to get, a couple more cute votes, but I'm happy I won on my own merit and content repurposing.
Congratulations.
Great job, Frank.
And good try, Frank. Good try. Oh, this is great. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to get into Q&A. So let's see. We have a bunch of questions in here, and we'll go one by one and do our best to answer them. Let's see. First question. Are the group recordings separate video and audio files for each user or one file? So we're giving you the ability to download both of these today. So we're doing it for each user.
Yep.
Do you want to read this one?
Does group recording save to the guest local storage and then upload to Wistia, or is Wistia recording the stream?
Well, this is both. We're recording a backup version and saving locally and then uploading it at the end when it's done.
Yep. And that's that quality.
That's how you keep the quality high and also de-risk against failure, which we love to de-risk. Are any future plans for more channel customization options? Actually, yes. We've been releasing some new changes to channels recently and are thinking a lot about that. But if you have other specific things that you want there, Charles, like you can feel free to put it in the comments here and we'll see it, or we can connect with someone after, because we are very actively developing here, building here. That's also just a thing worth saying in general. We said at the beginning, but like the feedback and questions, like if you're asking for stuff we don't have, that's also incredibly useful for the teams to hear about. Okay, next one.
Was there Simulive incorporated in this webinar? If so, where?
Do we seem live or do we seem simulated?
We're live.
So we did not, basically the Simulive idea is basically you have a video in your account and you can use it to play back as a whole event. So you could take this recording and play it back, or you could make something for that purpose. We did use a bunch of videos that we created for this event. So Chop It was not happening in real time. That was pre-recorded. And it's actually a really simple thing. You find the videos in your Wistia account and pull them into the event and then can go live with them. And one of the things you'll probably notice is really high quality. And the reason for that is we've tuned the stream to make sure that video playback is as high quality as we can get it. And so not actually in this event today, but the video playback idea, which is the same idea it was.
Can we have the ability to move the picture-in-picture around in the shared view? We love Wistia for demos, but the fixed presenter covers presenter image covers our UI.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is just for like if you're recording in Wistia and the layout changes there. If you're recording in Wistia, basically anything that's recorded in Wistia, when you drop into the editor, you can change layouts. So it starts with you looking like picture in picture over, but you can actually put yourself next to, like you can take a webcam feed and put it next to the screen. And in live, there's like a few different layout options, but this is something that we're looking at doing more of. So yes, if you have more feedback here, please share it, but we're looking at more customization options for this.
Yep. Can hosts share the responsibilities for managing graphics and layouts?
Yes. You know, we have today, there's a couple hosts sitting right here next to me. One of them is managing layouts on stage. One of them is just making jokes and distracting me. But also they are managing slides, stuff like that. So yeah, you can have multiple hosts in there. And we've talked about this before. One of the other really cool things you can do is you can actually set up so you can hear the host when you're on stage. So if you have headphones, sometimes like we happen to be in the same room here today, but we do a lot of events where we're not in the same room. And if I have headphones in, I can have like Steve will be talking to me sometimes while we're actually doing it. So it's like producer mode, which is very cool.
Is screen recording possible in remote recording? And can we have two different files, one for the masthead and the other for the screen?
Yes. So screen recording, yes and no. Yeah, today. Screen recording in remote is possible. So the interface is kind of similar to the back-end interface of Wistia Live. So basically, you can have multiple people, and you can actually have multiple people sharing their screens, but you put them onto a stage, and we're recording what's on the stage. So we're not recording multiple screens at the same time today. But if that is something that you want, like, just let us know in the comments, and we'll take a look as the team is iterating really rapidly there.
Any plans to add upvoting of Q&A questions would really help prioritize which questions to answer first when short on time. Love this question.
This is a great question. Uni, you want to come up for this one?
Yep. Hello. Yes, we definitely have that on our roadmap for some point because we want you all to feel like your audience is having pretty much a say in like the types of content that they're engaging with and getting to choose what you answer. So yes, it is very much on our roadmap.
Awesome. It's nice to go right to the answer, right to the source.
Any ability to use AI to lower the volume for filler words, for example, ums and uhs with the click of a button, not cut the video. So there are a bunch of jump cuts, but just lower the volume.
That's an interesting one. I've never heard that suggestion before. So which is very interesting. So you're saying you just want to lower the volume of the ums and ahs so it doesn't have the jump cuts, but is less distracting. It's very cool. I mean, it's something we can look at for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't heard of that. Any plans to add up? Oh, this is the same one. Same question. Are you planning on adding the ability to have an AI voice as the narrator of videos? Ooh, Chris, it's a good one for you.
That's a good one. Yeah, we're looking at some of that tech now and trying to figure out like how best to integrate it with a company that we think is doing a good job here is HeyGen. And we've seen a lot of customers basically taking content and putting it in Wistia and then also bring it over to HeyGen and translating it and stuff like that. So we're looking at how we can try to save you some time there. And the AI voice thing has come up. It's not come up that much yet because I think a lot of times people who are using this are just have a little bit of a different workflow than what we're solving for today. But it's something that I'm sure we'll look at. And I love the suggestion.
Are there any plans to add more granular control over who can attend a Wistia Live event? The domain level controls are okay, but not precise enough for us.
Yeah, I can field this one. So yes, there are definitely plans. We've heard from you all that you want to be able to target like individual registrants that sign up and maybe keep them from actually attending the event. So we have that on our roadmap as well. And we'll also be working on a feature that will be shipped at some point in the near future, where if someone does, get to the event and they're a person that you actually want to ban and you notice them in your attendee list, you would be able to do so during a live event.
Would there ever be an option for more layers of subfolders in the new app? We often need more categorization than one subfolder deep allows.
This is a good question. We were hearing this from other people too. So I think that the team is looking at it as, we add more power and control to having lots of users in an account.
Yep. Any plans to add the ability to have on-screen interactive questions?
So I'm assuming this is for live events, so I can field this one too. We are looking at quizzes as another audience engagement tool. So I think this would also be really good for folks who are in the ed tech industry or have maybe education use cases. So assuming, again, this is for a live event, then you'd maybe have in between a live event or, the content that you're sharing, people could ask or answer questions kind of like quiz style. If there's other ideas also that you all have in mind, please let us know in the chat. We're happy to kind of take that as customer feedback and consider it for our roadmap.
Does group recording save to the guest local storage and then upload to Wistia, or is Wistia recording the stream? Is this the same?
I think it's the same question, but both. We're recording a local option and also recording a stream at the same time to make sure that you have a backup.
Anything new with the RTMP functionality? I use a switcher for my live broadcast, and RTMP was fairly new when I tried it.
Yes, yeah. So when we first launched RTMP ingest as a functionality earlier this year, so for those who don't know, it's basically if you have more advanced setup like using OBS and you want to stream into a Wistia live event, you can do so with this feature much more easily now, directly from like OBS into Wistia Live. So an update that we made is we wanted to have you all be able to engage with your audience, even if your stream is coming in from OBS. So you can use polls, Q&A, and chat during an event now. And then we're also working to make sure that live events, they're very stressful. Sometimes things can kind of go awry and maybe you went, live too early or something happens and the feed stops. Like we want them to be restartable or resumable in that sense. So for RTMP ingest events as well, we're working on a feature to allow you to restart or resume basically. So that'll be coming out in the near future as well.
For the speed up encoding, is there a reason why you wouldn't want to do that? Is it still in beta and there might be encoding issue or smaller bitrate in the end?
Good question. I think basically it's like if you're not in a rush and you just kind of, you want to go get a coffee, maybe get lunch, then maybe you don't speed it up. No, right now there doesn't seem to be. It's basically just allowing us to roll it out and give it to everyone who needs it, like for any use case you want. So yeah, basically you're probably going to hit it every time. But like given the scale of what we're processing, we're just making sure that everything goes perfectly. But there's no downside to doing it.
When I do my live webinars, can I change the language to Spanish when they receive the register automatic emails? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. We definitely want to prioritize folks that are like sharing content to their international audiences. We don't have all those features ready yet, but at least one thing you could do now is Wistia live confirmation emails, reminder emails, etc. You can update the subject line and the email sort of like text preview. So if you wanted to include like maybe Spanish language in those areas, to just sort of increase the click rate and opening up rates, so you could do it that way. And in the future, we'll be continuing to look into areas where we can make it easier for you to engage with your audiences at a different time zone or maybe other countries. So if this is like a big thing for you all, please let us know in the chat and we will be able to prioritize it into the roadmap as well.
Can workshops be run on Wistia?
I think so. I mean, I can start here with the live event perspective. We've seen customers actually do workshops using live. So we had someone that was doing a workshop of how to create like a certain type of art, for example. So they were streaming that and having essentially students or people who paid for the class like watch and do that craft on their own. Workshops could also mean a number of different things. Some people are using Wistia Live events for trainings, for example, to get their staff members certified a certain way, or just to make sure that they're getting some type of like education content to meet certain requirements for employment. So workshops can definitely be used, and a use case that we have in Wistia Live.
Are there plans to add OCR, optical character recognition, to the AI Gen transcript tool? A lot of our videos feature text instructions, but they lack voiceover.
That's interesting. That has not come up much yet, but I will mention that to the team. I think it's a good one to look at.
Will you guys ever have multi-audio support for different languages?
Yes.
Yes.
We got, I think, we still have more questions, right? Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, look at this.
After the webinar are recorded, can we actually have the captions in the video? I always have the captions on the side on a big paragraph, but don't see them in the video. Also, if they are on the video, can we embed to our site with the captions?
Yes. So once your webinar concludes, you actually get a copy of that entire event, and it's saved into your library automatically. So from there, you would be able to just turn on captions as a feature. So if you embed that video onto, a site of your choice, then the viewers essentially have the option to turn on captions and watch it that way. We also have like a really fun feature called social clips I think you should all check out. So if you wanted to take the long form content and chop it up into smaller, more engaging pieces, those come with embedded captions or burned in captions as well, because folks really love that in social media content. So that's another feature you should all check out as well.
Yeah, and I think just to be clear, when the text is on the side of the video, that's just on the page in Wistia. It's like an easier way to browse to the video and search and stuff like that. But if you were to embed that video, it will show up as the text will show up as normal captions on the player. So it's just on that page that it's different.
Any plans, and this might be our last question, so if you have more questions, drop them in. But any plans to make it so projects can be defaulted to generate video transcripts in languages other than English?
Yeah, that's a good question. Something we're looking at right now, obviously something we want to make a default. So I think when we first introduced this, we just wanted to make sure that we were really happy with the translations themselves, and that like you all were really happy with them. And that was like our first priority. But one of the things you'll notice with this is like, yeah, we'll start making that a default at some point. We'll do that as fast as we can. But also like a lot of things that we're doing, a lot of the fast new stuff, we get it out there. We want to make sure like, is this actually really, truly useful? And if it is, and if your feedback tells us that it is, then we start to try to figure out how many things of these very useful new things that we've created can we make a default to just save you more time. Okay. I think that's it for questions. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate it, bearing with us. I know people came from all over to watch this, so it's really delightful. And, we have shipped a ton of things. We're still shipping at a very fast pace. It can be a lot to keep up with. But it's also like amazing. Like it makes us very proud to be able to have so many active customers who are giving us so much feedback and pushing us to make the product better. And basically everything that you asked today that we don't have yet is exactly that. So we just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for coming. Please keep the feedback coming. And actually I did see one question I don't think we said was the beta program. We are going to make it very soon. Just in your account settings, you can opt into the beta program so you can get access to some of these things earlier. So just be on the lookout for that.